Y'all keep saying my house is filthy. My house is normal.
Alex posted a video of her in her bedroom, and in her bedroom with her is her rabbit or her bunny. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Now, having pets is not the issue. The environment is the issue. There's literally bugs crawling all over Alex's bed. And what really got me is the rabbit or bunny droppings all over the bedroom that you have been telling everybody is rabbit food. This is not okay.
People also don't believe me that this is like one day of stuff for my kids.
Stop normalizing nasty moms! Alex, you are a liar.
The most disgraceful image burned into the internet's memory is not just a messy house or a cluttered living room. It is the moment Donut Mom, better known as Alex Sabo, filmed herself attempting a viral infinity hoop challenge in a bedroom littered with rabbit droppings, stepping casually on pellets scattered across the floor, while bugs rolled across her sheets and her young children, just 8, 5, and 3 years old, slept themselves in the same house, forced to grow up in conditions no child should ever endure, and all of it packaged neatly into TikTok content for strangers to consume as entertainment. This is not simply about clutter. This is not simply about mental health struggles. This is about a mother broadcasting filth, neglect, and misplaced priorities to the world, choosing nails and pedicures over clean air and safe bedrooms for her children, and daring to call it content creation. Case filing. The defendant in this case is Alex Sabo, who the internet has crowned Donut Mom after her infamous fast food runs, her endless junk food live streams, and her repeated insistence that being a stay-at-home mom and TikTok content creator qualifies as full-time work, despite the reality her viewers cannot unsee. A collapsing household, children deprived of essentials, and a home environment so unsanitary that flies, rabbit droppings, and infestations have become recurring characters in her videos. At first, the TikTok community saw Alex as quirky, unfiltered, maybe even relatable. She was that mom who didn't try to fake perfection. She posted her flaws, her clutter, her kids eating donuts and pizza. She was raw, messy, unapologetic. But what started as authentic imperfection quickly spiraled into negligence on display. What was first interpreted as relatability began to look like exploitation. The charges before this court, public opinion, are serious and layered. Neglect of children's basic needs, choosing self-indulgence over fixing broken windows, cooling overheated bedrooms, or cleaning contaminated spaces. Exploitation of children for content, turning moments of their suffering into material for views. Rage bait monetization, deliberately provoking outrage through filth, laziness, and dysfunction in order to fuel engagement. Misinterpretation of motherhood, branding herself as a stay-at-home mom while refusing to meet even the bare minimum responsibilities that title implies.
People also don't believe me that this is like one day of stuff for my kids.
Stop normalizing nasty moms! Alex, you are a liar. That is not one day, and you should be ashamed. This is one day. One day of my kids' stuff. I have 3 kids. Same as you. Where's all the garbage and bugs?
This is not just the story of one messy household. It is the story of how influencer culture rewards dysfunction, how algorithms turn neglect into content, and how children become the silent victims of digital performance. Exhibit A. In one of the most criticized moments, Alex's young daughter pleaded with her to fix a broken bedroom window. The room had become unbearably hot, making it nearly impossible to sleep, with stagnant air thick enough to keep her tossing and turning through the night. This wasn't a minor inconvenience. The oppressive heat posed as a risk to a child's rest, hydration, and overall health. The child, in a rare moment of bravery, asked to sleep in the living room or at least to be allowed near the air conditioning, desperate for some relief from the suffocating environment. Alex denied her request, brushing aside her daughter's discomfort. Instead of tending to this urgent need, she redirected her time and money toward a nail salon appointment, documenting her glossy manicure for her audience while her daughter endured sweltering discomfort back home. Direct quote, as reported. She could have even used a small portion of that pedicure money to buy her daughter a fan. This exhibit demonstrates a recurring pattern: luxury over necessity, aesthetics over functionality, self over child.
Okay, Alex Sable or Sable or whatever, I'm kind of upset the fact that you have your manicured claws. Your claws are all done up, girl, but your kids don't even have a house that has AC in there. And parents like you are the problem. You're the problem. Hi, hello, it's you. Because some of you parents cannot get your priorities straight. Now, your house and the health of your child and your children, because that's way more important, right? This is the same person that I'm sure that's like, I feed my kids donuts because that is less expensive than fruit. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, health is the most important thing. And you not giving them a suitable living space in this heat that makes you feel like you are literally being cremated.
The situation wasn't about financial impossibility, but about the hierarchy of choices and the message those choices send. A basic fan, a temporary repair, or even the compassion of letting the child sleep somewhere cooler would have cost far less than a set of acrylics, but the nails were prioritized. There wasn't mere forgetfulness or lack of knowledge. It was a deliberate misplacement of values, where personal indulgence triumphed over parental duty and where appearances mattered more than a child's immediate needs. If the choice between comfort for your child and comfort for your cuticles does not end in your child's favor, it reveals not only broken priorities, but also the dangerous message being molded, that appearances and self-gratification outweigh the fundamental duty to safeguard a child's well-being, and that superficial beauty can be placed above the well-being of one's own family. Exhibit B. Alex films herself attempting a viral fitness challenge, but the video, instead of showing energy, focus, or effort, reveals a disturbing backdrop that turned stomachs across TikTok. Her bedroom floor is not just cluttered. It is carpeted with rapid feces, each pillet stuck against the worn flooring, with clothes tossed carelessly into the same filth. Food wrappers and half-empty drink cups sit neglected in corners, further feeding the infestation that has already taken over her personal space. The sheets on her bed wreathed with visible bags crawling openly, unbothered by her presence, and faint stains suggest this is not a new problem, but a long-standing one. She casually steps on droppings as she records, not flinching, not even acknowledging what the camera captures, as if this environment had long become normalized and beyond repair.
We're on day 6, I think. I will.
No.
Hey, girl. Good dog.
I miss you guys.
If you want to hoop with me and join the 30-day challenge with me, click the link in my bio or check my description to save some money. Love you guys.
She was even stepping on them. The camera in this moment became more than a tool for content. It became evidence, a digital crime scene laid bare for the public. TikTok users, accustomed to seeing curated imperfections for relatability, suddenly found themselves in the position of jurors observing neglect in real time. Bugs in a bed where two adults sleep, droppings scattered in areas children could easily wander into, household items mingling with contamination. It was not just a moment of untidiness, it was a snapshot of systematic filth, disregard, and dangerous living conditions. The recording raised an unspoken but unavoidable question. If her room looked like this under the gaze of her own phone lens, what horrors lay beyond the frame in the bedrooms of her children where they sleep, play, and grow? Outrage quickly hardened into alarm. The neglect was no longer ambiguous or debatable. It was crawling across the sheets in plain sight, undeniable proof that the dysfunction wasn't performance alone, but a lived reality with dire consequences for the most vulnerable in the household.
Donut Mom, aka Alex, posted a very concerning video and we need to address this. Alex posted a video of her in her bedroom, and in her bedroom with her is her rabbit or her bunny, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Now, having pets is not the issue. The environment is the issue. There's literally bugs crawling all over Alex's bed. And what really got me is the rabbit or bunny droppings all over the bedroom that you have been telling everybody is rabbit food. This is not okay. There should not be animal feces left around your house unattended to. And pulling out your phone to make a video with it surrounded in your room like that tells me that there has to be a bigger issue going on. Because there's absolutely no way that you did not see that or smell it. Alex, this is not okay. And you have children too. I'm really disappointed.
Exhibit C. Alex used a viral sound about ridiculous questions to respond to critiques, a trend where creators mock intrusive or repetitive comments. On screen, she wrote that people often asked if she worked, and with a tone of exasperation, she insisted she was both a stay-at-home mom and a content creator. "That is my job," she declared defiantly, as if stamping out all doubts in one short phrase. "I am a stay-at-home mom, so I have all the duties of being a mother, and I am a content creator who makes an income from social media." But the receipts contradict her words. A stay-at-home mom is not simply a title. It is a role that demands cooking, cleaning, nurturing, teaching, and protecting day in, day out. A content creator, too, is not just someone who holds up a phone, but someone who puts thought, planning, and crafting into what they publish. Alex, however, does neither consistently. She turns the camera toward Filth, exploits dysfunction for views, and monetizes neglect, all while presenting it as labor. Her claim of double duty sounds less like a defense and more like an excuse, a way of masking idleness behind the language of work and sacrifice. By using this defense, Alex not only misled the public, she insulted genuine stay-at-home mothers who tirelessly provide for their families while receiving no paycheck, no recognition, and certainly no sponsorships. It trivialized the invisible labor of countless women, reduced their sacrifices into a punchline, and framed irresponsibility as authenticity. In doing so, she revealed more about her distorted view of motherhood than about her critics' supposed unfairness. The fallout. The backlash has been steady and merciless. CPS discussions swirl in the comments, with concerned viewers speculating on whether authorities might eventually intervene. Viewers call for action, sharing clips across platforms, and entire outrage threads dominate TikTok and Reddit, documenting each roach that scuttled across a counter, every rabbit dropping ground into the carpet, every McDonald's bag piled high and left to decay. With every viral stitch and duet, the case against Alex seemed to grow stronger. Sponsors quietly distance themselves, collaborations vanish, and opportunities shrink. Yet in a moment that felt like satire, Alex receives an invitation to New York Fashion Week, A glaring reminder of how broken influencer culture has become, rewarding dysfunction and neglect with front row seats and red carpet flags. For the children, however, the fallout is not symbolic at all. It is a daily reality they breathe, literally inhaling the air of infestation that hangs heavy in their home. They eat meals in a kitchen plagued with swarms of flies, where utensils and food are never safe from contamination. They watch their mother place TikTok trends above tidiness, manicures above maintenance, cloud over care. Their fallout is not likes or lost sponsorships. It is childhood itself, stripped of dignity and stability, contaminated at the core, normalized into dysfunction, and transformed into consumable content before they can even begin to understand what privacy or safety truly means. Judge's analysis. This case is not just about Donut Mom. It is about a system that thrives on outrage, packaging dysfunction as entertainment and rewarding it with clicks, comments, and sponsorship. It is about algorithms that push the dirtiest clips and the most shocking neglect into millions of feeds, not because they are meaningful, but because shock sells better than stability. It is about the dangerous normalization of children growing up in chaos, where filth and dysfunction become backdrops for monetizable storylines, so long as advertisers see engagement metrics rising. It is about the way platforms cultivate a taste for scandal, training audiences to expect dysfunction and rewarding creators who supply it, no matter the collateral damage. Influencer culture has created an economy where trauma functions as currency.
So last night we talked about Donut Mom and how she has her pet rabbit's feces all over her bedroom floor. And a lot of you are saying, is it satire? Is it rage bait? Here's my take on that. It does not matter if it's satire or rage bait. And honestly, I feel like there's nothing about that is rage bait. That is real life. You don't set poop all around the floor as rage bait. Just like you don't put a mess purposely around your house for like content ideas. Nothing about that is okay. It's concerning not only because of that, but because you can tell how she zones out at sometimes. And in one of her videos I was watching, you can hear her child standing in front of her asking her, "What's wrong, mommy?" And she was straight up just zoned out, ignoring her child. And she's apparently walking in New York Fashion Week. That's crazy. You can even see stepped on feces in her videos. That's not normal.
Where filth is rebranded into content and where children suffering becomes background noise to a parent's self-styled career. This is not just Alex's failure. It is a reflection of TikTok's structural incentives that prioritize attention above accountability, clicks above care, and sensationalism above safety. It is also a reflection of us, the viewers who watch, share, comment, and stitch, and through our collective attention, inevitably reward and reinforce the very dysfunction we claim to oppose. The cycle is vicious. Outrage fuels the algorithm. The algorithm boosts the content, and the creator, even when condemned, profits from the storm. In this way, the blame stretches beyond one individual mother and lands squarely on an ecosystem that profits from exploitation, while audiences, often with good intentions of calling it out, unknowingly feed the very cycle they wish to dismantle, making us not only witnesses to dysfunction, but participants in its monetization. The verdict. Based on the evidence, the verdict is clear. Donut Mom is guilty of prioritizing aesthetics over essentials, guilty of exploiting dysfunction for views, guilty of downplaying her role as a mother, and guilty of failing to provide her children with the safe, clean, nurturing environment they deserve. Her actions reveal not only personal negligence, but also an unsettling confidence that such negligence can be broadcast, defended, and monetized without consequence. But in this court, the jury is you. Does Alex deserve the platform she continues to hold? Should TikTok continue to reward this cycle of neglect turned into entertainment? Should brands and advertisers validate this behavior with money and exposure? Or should the algorithm and the audience deliver the ultimate sentencing by withdrawing attention, sponsorships, and validation altogether? Drop your verdict in the comments below, because in the court of TikTok, justice is not declared, it is decided, and every view, share, or comment becomes part of the sentence you, the jury, hand down.